comment is that we need to pray for this country. We need to pray very, very. I know we have prayed, but there is a need for us to pray, especially for the politicians. On the left, on the right, Republican, Democrat, independent, whatever they consider themselves, because the country is going into a situation where God's commandment is being thrown away. And we've already said back that when we vote for someone, whatever actions they take, we become accountable for them. And whether it's left or right, we become accountable. Recently, we know in January, the governor of New York signed a bill that basically allowed abortion, and which is also infanticide, to kill children when they are born and the governor of Virginia also said something similar, to say that when a child is born, then, this is talking about in the case a woman was trying to abort and the baby survives the abortion, then they should put the infant on the table and then discuss what shall we do, and then decide whether or not to keep the baby or to allow the baby to die, which is the same again as infanticide, which means killing baby. And we know this is not just an ordinary thing. And then to top it off, to make it even more abominable, we have the Senate or the Congress, whether Senate or, but there was a vote again, this past week. And what did they vote about? They voted that if a baby is born alive through abortion, that the baby should be killed. And all those who voted that, they called the bill Born Alive bill. I understand all the Democrats voted against it, and some Republicans also voted against. So when God says we should not kill, thou shalt not murder, what are they up to when they all said no? One would think that, it's just right. In New York, they said it's a woman's right and all of that. God, has his commandments. And so the whole idea of this thing is that it may look at, it's just this, but the whole thing is that it's satanic. When people are involved in rituals, involved in satanic worship, involved in occultism and all of these things, and by shedding blood, and it allows them to feed into their satanic agenda. So when we hear of these things, and there are things going on that, they say they are working on it, but it's sad that a country as ours, we have, people voting, senators voting that babies should be, killed. And even to the extent that there was an article by a Democrat who said she was a Democrat, but then she's sort of surprised that why, and all the 4 people who have said they are going to be president, fighting for the presidency in 2020, all said no. So let us pray for this country, that the things that are happening, we may say it doesn't concern, whether or not you are into politics or not politics, and when things like this are being done, it shows the depravity of a nation. It shows that life is no longer valued. How can you put more value on people, aliens coming to the country, but then children born, you want them to. So it is something that we may not feel comfortable speaking, but we have to pray that God should enter their hearts, to revive their hearts, to revive their souls, so that they will see the value of life. Because all those who are involved in this, God has a message for them. Christ has a message. He said it would be better for them to have a rope tied on their neck, and then for them to be thrown in the deep seas. So anyone who is involved in, voting for or voting against the bill to save the children, to save babies who are born alive, we have to pray that God should help them. So it is not an ordinary thing. They are being influenced by Satan, and they don't see anything else. Maybe hatred has caused them to just have that mentality, but we have to really pray that God should change their hearts. God should help us all so that we will pray more. And when we pray more, God will take care of them. But the level of what is going on, is happening, is not something that we should leave. And we should also continue to thank God and pray that not only here, all other nations, they will behave properly and they will also fear God. And there is no fear when such a thing is being done. So that is the quick comment that I wanted to make. And I will also want to say that, we'll talk about that later.